You look like something found in a pyramid.
Oh boy. Fuck me. So the first episode of the Halo TV show came out recently, and it was a giant pile of dog shit. It was also really funny to watch, especially the first half. And I decided this first episode was so bad that I just had to do a breakdown of it and just talk about every fucking scene possible of this one episode. Now, I'm not gonna do this for the rest of the season. I'm just doing the first episode because, one, I learned my lesson trying to fucking break down an entire season of a show. It's fucking torturous. And two, I don't feel like doing it. So with this fucking intro out of the way, let's break this crap down, okay? It's gonna be a wonderful, wonderful time. So we start off with a panning shot looking at the desert, which is like, okay, and then we see this weird circle village shithole. Why does every fucking Western sci-fi show, I'm not even sure this is Western, but why does every sci-fi show have to make it look like such a fucking shithole? Why is everyone so dirty and crappy and not using latest tech shit? I don't know, I like things that are pleasing to the eye, so when I see a shithole and it's in the desert, I'm already super uninterested. That's a really big issue for me. But, you know, that's the least of this fucking show's problems. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's more of a pet peeve towards fucking sci-fi shows. But anyways, we get to these group of people playing some space game, space table game, I don't know what the fuck to call it, and they're watching the news about some guy that is supposed to look evil just by what his jacket is, clearly, and we get this old guy with some fucking dialogue saying that the UNSC are terrible, they're awful people, they're pieces of shit, you should be scared of them, especially as Spartans. Spartans are ruthless killers, which doesn't make any fucking sense. Why are the Spartans ruthless killers? I mean, their whole thing is to protect humanity, no matter the cost. That's even a line from Master Chief himself in Halo 4 and 5. It just, what? Why are you doing this? That's not a good route to go. And the show likes to really hammer this in your head, that the UNSC and Spartans are very, very bad people. It kind of feels like Star Trek Picard, when the Starfleet are actually very generous people in the original show, that they care about human life and they like to resolve things without violence. That was kind of the thing about Star Trek. And then you watch Star Trek Picard and it just turns out the Starfleet are just massive dickholes for some reason. And I could tell you right now, this is the route this show is going with for some fucking reason, because they want to make it sound like the government's bad. And it's just, really? That's the route we're going with this? A fucking TV show based around a giant green man in armor killing aliens, and we're gonna make it about the government's bad. Okay, this is pathetic. So then we cut to this, fuck it, I'm gonna call her bad hair lady, because holy shit, why does her hair look so fucking dog shit? In fact, why does her entire group of friends have really dog shit hair? It's actually fucking really bad. Like, look at this fucking hairstyle. What is it? They're trying to bring back the fucking Jerry curl? Is that what it's called? What's that hairstyle from the 80s? That people had like long hair in the back but short in the front. What was that called? I can't think of the name of it. I'll pull up a picture of it because seriously, I'm blanking on the name. But what a shitty fucking hairstyle. Where did you even get your hair done at? Like, it looks like that was freshly cut not too long ago, but you guys are in the middle of a shithole. Who had time to cut your hair? Who has a fucking razor? Fuck it, whatever, who cares? Shitty haircuts in the future. I'm not looking forward to that at all. So in this scene, they try to build up this girl's friends, but for some reason, they get so fucking rushed by this. You only meet the friends for maybe a minute, and then they start dying immediately. And it's very comedic deaths, too, because they just explode. Now, here's just a suggestion, right? If you want to make a character and make the audience care about them, because they're called characters, the best thing to do is maybe try building them up. So this ragtag group of friends she has here, right? You can make them compelling by making them relatable. A great example of this is, look at the Suicide Squad. The beginning of that movie, you got these, how many people in a fucking airplane and just shooting shit at each other.
Turn it around. No. Yeah.
Put it in there. Now you're safe.
All right.
What does TDK stand for?
What?
Your name is TDK, correct?
Yeah.
And it stands for what?
Stands for me. That's what a name is.
Your name is letters?
All names are letters, dickhead.
Yo, is this a dog?
What?
Is this thing a dog?
A dog?
Yes.
What kind of dog do you think it is, mate?
I don't know. I'm not familiar with all the breeds.
I'm gonna go with Afghan Hound.
They're bantering, they're having interesting chemistry. Another example is a TV show called Community. Now, no one in Community dies, but at the season finale, you kind of care about the characters and where they're going with their lives at the end, because you've spent almost 4 years building these people up, and they're very well-rounded, dimensional characters that you can understand their traits and see where they came from and understand them. In this show, they just like, yeah, 5 friends, and then they just die in the first minute. Fuck it. That's this whole show in that little time right there. It's just introduce character, maybe kill them, and then move on. The characters that stay are fucking shitty and have no character. Now, I could excuse bad plot if the characters are compelling. Hell, I like the Suicide Squad for that reason. Not because it has a shit plot, but the characters are very good. They have banner. They react the way they would as that character. This show, I don't even... What does this Asian bitch have in common? Like, what does she do? She's shitty haircut, hates the UNSC? That's her whole fucking character, I guess. And it's only the first episode, don't get me wrong on this. Maybe they'll somewhat try to build her up, but maybe that's what the first episode should have fucking been, is building up your characters? Like Community did this perfectly. The first episode is introducing you to these people and understanding where they come from.
Kinds of things. You've heard it's loser college for remedial teens, 20-something dropouts, middle-aged divorcees, and old people keeping their minds active as they circle the drain of eternity. That's what you heard. However, I wish you luck!
And then the whole first season, in fact, is just fleshing out these people. But what do I expect from people to write? No one knows how to write a good fucking show these days. Anyways, so she finds a Covenant ship. She runs away, tells her friends, like, yo, guys, there's this fucking alien ship. Don't go that way, you dumbass. And then her friend blows up right in front of her. Which was a really funny death. A few of her other friends just die instantly. It's just goddamn. And for some reason, she has a flare and she shoots the flare up. And I'm like, okay, why do you have a flare? Do you just carry that around wherever you go? That's okay. Well, maybe it's just for safety. Maybe their area that they're in is a very dangerous area. But if that's the case, why even wander in the fucking first place if you're children? But hey, whatever. Anyway, so she shoots off this flare, and some guy on the fucking base was just looking through his binoculars, maybe bird seeing, I don't fucking know. And he just happened to see the fucking flare. So he's like, yo, guys, flare went off. And everyone just starts getting armed for a battle. Like, what? What if she is just, like, letting you know that the pizza's here or some shit? What if it was a false alarm? Maybe someone pulled out her flare on accident and shot it up in the sky, and all of you guys just got armed for battle for no fucking reason. That just, it's kind of like that scene from Independence Day at the very beginning where the guy is just playing golf in the fucking science room, and all of a sudden a red light just starts blinking. He's like, oh god, I need to get the president. And it's just, well, maybe you should look into it first. Maybe you shouldn't just jump to conclusions and arm your entire fucking village with AKs. We'll get into that in a moment. Actually, you know what? Let's get into it now. Why the fuck in the future is everyone using an AK, right? And yeah, you could probably make the excuse, well, it's a good weapon, it's very versatile. Well, apparently not, because it couldn't shoot a fucking elite to save their life. But that's something we'll get into later. But they also have a UNSC minigun. You're telling me they couldn't scavenge anything else besides a minigun? It just... It doesn't make a lot of fucking sense. It's actually really fucking stupid. Anyway, so the elites come, and everyone's running away, and everyone's shooting, and it's just... your normal TV show shit. I have to mention, though, why do the elites look so dumb? They look really stupid. I'm not entirely sure what it is. I think it's the helmet, but something about them makes them look very, very off. Maybe someone else sees it. Maybe I'm just retarded. So anyways, all the kids are in this one room bunker thing, and Asian bitch sees her dad flipping the truck, and so she opens up the hatch on the top and leaves it open. What a smart lady she is. Just leave that hatch open. Hopefully no elites tries to get in there and kill anyone. Spoilers, they don't, but they die in a different way. And so she goes and tries to help her dad, I think? And then, so, we cut back to the kids in the fucking bunker, and the elite, instead of going up on the hatch that's perfectly open for him, he decides to just open the doors? Because no... I guess no one locked them? He just opened the fucking door. No one thought of maybe just locking the door or anything? I don't know. Anyways, so the elite just guns down all these kids, and listen, alright. In my high school, we used to have these school shooting drills because where I went to school was a pretty rough area. And in these drills, they taught us is that if someone breaks through the door and is about to shoot us, there is 30 of us and one of them. We might lose a few people, like 3 or 4, but if we all charge at the guy, he won't have anything to do. Now, in this situation, you could apply the same logic, right? There is like about how many kids in this room? Maybe it looks more than 30. And it's one elite. And there's some right in front of him. So why not just topple the fucker? And no, they just stay there and accept their death. Like, what? Why would you do that? Whatever. I guess when you're about to die, you don't do anything you can to keep yourself from dying, but I guess that's just me. Whatever. Anyway, so Master Chief finally shows up. He somehow is able to drop from a fucking pelican straight from its back. It would have been cool if I was the writer of the shit show. I would first rewrite it, but if I was going to do an introduction to Master Chief, I would make him drop from an ODST drop pod, because, you know, that's kind of what he just did, but without one. It would have been a little bit of a better suspense moment. Can you imagine, right? He drops from the fucking drop pod, and everyone's looking at this drop pod, and they have no idea what the fuck it is. And then the door just flies open, and you see Master Chief grab a rocket launcher and just go ham. That would have been a cool little reference. Even if people never played Halo 2, they could still look at that and be like, that's fucking cool. But instead, no, we get the lame superhero landing, and him just looking up like, yeah, I'm Master Chief. It's, I don't know. It's very cliched, if you ask me. So, this show tries to do the Doom movie with The Rock in it, where at the ending it was all first person, but this show does it in split-second cuts, which is very jarring. And then it cuts to really bad CGI Master Chief flying through the air, and it's just so bad. And another thing, so for some reason Master Chief is able to do damage to these people, but the guy that was on the fucking minigun couldn't do damage to the elite? Why? How did that happen? Why? He was on the same minigun, he couldn't do any damage, but the second Master Chief picks up the minigun, he's able to do damage. It's fucking show logic, I guess. Writing's hard. Why try writing? Anyways, the other Spartans come on in, and we get more really bad choreographed fights with Master Chief, and somehow killing elites with a pistol, even though these people have been trying to kill them with AKs, and they haven't even been able to penetrate their shields. But hey, whatever, cool. And then the rest of the scene is just a montage of fucking Spartans just killing elites and really bad CGI motions and shit. It's really bad. So to give you guys a great example of how fucking bad some of the action scenes are in this show, right here we got a scene of one of the Spartans fighting, right? And so as you can see, he has a DMR, he's shooting at an elite like you would, right? And the elite sees him and is just, oh my god, someone's shooting at me. And so this guy's idea was to... You know what? I don't need the DMR anymore. Let me pick up this fucking lead pipe. What? What is your thinking there? I'm sorry. So you're shooting at the elite from a distance with a DMR. And you thought, nah, you know what? What I really need is a lead pipe. It gets dumber, right? Look at this part, okay? You got an elite with a plasma pistol, and you got a Spartan that decided to use a fucking lead pipe instead of the fucking DMR. And if you're the elite, you have many options. But what he decides to do, right, is walk straight up towards him, point blank with a plasma rifle, and he just gets smacked and dies. That's the scene. Like, what? There's so much wrong with this one action scene that happens for 5 seconds. It's actually kind of sad that no one noticed this. You can't make this shit up. This right here gives you a kernel of some of the issues with this fucking TV show. You could find little things like this planted all over the show, and it just makes it so bad. This is something I didn't even notice until I started editing this video. And this is terrible. Why would you direct a scene like this? You make the elites look like fucking dumbasses, and you make the Spartan look like an idiot too, because he went for a lead pipe? Why would you choose a lead pipe over a gun? It doesn't make any fucking sense. Everyone in this show is brain dead. Yeah, most of the action scenes in this fucking show are really shitty. They're really, really bad. But there's one part also that is just so bad, it makes no fucking sense. So, Master Chief is running towards these elites, and he spots a minigun. Right? The same minigun that the father had that wasn't able to shoot them, mind you. And so he throws the assault rifle down, and in this one quick shot, instead of just throwing the prop assault rifle down on the ground, they thought it was a good idea. They CGI'd the gun hitting the floor, and it looked so bad and so jarring. I had to pause and rewatch that scene like 5 times to see if I saw that right. It's such a weird choice to make. You have this prop assault rifle, and instead of just actually throwing the prop down to give it that realism look, you decided to CGI one on the ground. This is so bad. Oh, fucking hell. Who the hell wrote this crap? Anyways, so Master Chief just mows down the rest of the elites, and everyone's all happy. Well, no one's happy, but Asian bitch father looks at the dead children and is like, oh my god, all those children are dead. But my daughter's alive. Yay. Oh, nothing bad will ever happen to me. I'm going to go over to my daughter right now and love her. I know for a fact that I am not going to die. Oh look, there's an elite running towards my daughter. Let me pull out my AK-47, yell and shoot at it. That will go very well, because we've learned already that my AK-47 doesn't do jack shit to the elites, but me screaming and running towards it will definitely do some kind of damage. Oh wait, no it didn't. I just got stabbed, of course. Yeah, that's... Holy fucking shit. I am only 16 minutes into this fucking episode, and there's so much wrong with it that it's actually fucking insane. When you break down this show scene by scene, and you just see all these weird glaring flaws that no one noticed while making it, is actually fucking shocking. And some of the decisions they made too, with the action scenes and the CGI guns and the terrible CGI. How big was the budget for this fucking show? Was it like $9 million per episode? Why did it turn out to look so dog shit? It doesn't make sense. I've seen better CGI with less budget. I mean, holy fuck. But anyways, Master Chief comes over and he kills the elite, and then Master Chief looks around and is like, well, I guess everyone died. Oh well. I just can't imagine, right, being a Spartan, coming here to rescue these people, because clearly that's why they came here, right? And you come here to rescue them, but it turns out you didn't rescue anybody except for one chick. You just left her there. They just leave the girl there all by herself with her dead family. Like, what the fuck? And then we get to credits, and it's just, honestly, it's probably the only good thing about this entire fucking episode, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. It's not saying much, but hey, it's something. I'll try to throw a few caveats of good things, but I'm gonna be honest, there's not a lot of them. So now we get to Master Chief and gang walking through the desert for some reason, and they cut to this one Spartan tapping Master Chief and is like, yo, look, there it is, right there. And it's a giant fucking alien spaceship that's floating above them. And I have to wonder, no one noticed that. What was your plan before you even saw the ship? Were you just walking aimlessly and then hoping you would find the ship? What was your plan there? I'm not entirely... Did you have an idea of where you had to go? Or were you just... Fuck it. I really don't know. And so instead of going into the ship, they went into a cave. I'm pretty sure maybe the other two went into the ship. I'm not sure. And Master Chief finds a fucking, I don't know, forerunner thingy. And he touches the forerunner thingy majig. And everything lights up. And he gets flashbacks. And then he walks away. And that's the scene. I don't know what else to say about it. What do I say? Like, okay, cool for you, I guess. And somehow Asian bitch was able to follow them. Not entirely sure, but hey, let's go with it. An elite runs out and just happens to run straight into the girl. What are the odds of that? And she hits herself on a rock. I'm surprised you don't have a concussion from that. Good for you. Very lucky. And so Master Chief is like, yo, guys, let's go ahead and leave now. And while we're leaving, you three take the Covenant ship, and I'll take the Pelican. And for some reason, there's a weird rule for the UNSC that says that you can't fly a Pelican by yourself. I'm not sure why that's a thing. Very strange, but whatever. It's so that they can get Master Chief and Asian Bitch alone. So that's why Asian Bitch could make Master Chief see that the UNSC is bad or some crap. That's the only reason why this dialogue is here. So now we cut to Reach. The planet Reach, and it's Dr. Halsey looking at what Master Chief found, and she's like, oh my god, that's crazy. And Indian lady comes in, feel like she's about to help me try to fix my computer, but at the end she's just scamming me. But hey, whatever. If you want someone that's known for scamming you, I guess you do choose an Indian. So there you go. Good idea, movie. And then they're talking about something that really doesn't fucking matter, if I'm being fully honest with you. And then we snap back to fucking High Charity, which, to be fair, High Charity looks pretty damn cool. Like, the whole thing actually looks like it got ripped straight out of Halo, so good on that. And then it ends when we see one of the prophets, and it looks really bad. Like, really, 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 really bad. I don't know why it looks so dog shit. It looks like early George Lucas CGI. That's what it looks like. And then it turns out, for some reason, I'm not entirely sure on this, but why is the Covenant ran by a human? The prophets are the ones that ran the Covenant, but now the prophets are being ran by a human. That makes literally no fucking sense. The Covenant kills the humans, but you have a human as your fucking leader? I bet they're gonna answer this question in the later episodes of saying like, oh, she's trying to reveal that the UNSC are really bad people or some shit. She was born from the UNSC shit or something that stupid. I could predict this fucking show just off of this episode with the things it's trying to set up, and it's failing at it. If I am right on this, someone owes me $1 million. If I'm wrong on this, then I owe you nothing. And this is when a movie just gets really slow and just even worse, if I'm honest with you. Yeah, it somehow gets worse than it already is. The rest of this episode is just Master Chief and Asian bitch in a ship talking. I guess there's some interesting parts, like when she first wakes up, she talks to Miranda Keyes. No, that part's not really that interesting, because Asian bitch just starts complaining like, hey, I don't want to work with you because my father didn't like you guys. It's like, okay, I guess. UNSC bad. Gotta remember that. And so, I also have a question about this, right? So, the Pelican has a hologram to project the person that they're talking to. But in HQ, it's a shitty fucking grid screen. Why does the Pelican have better technology than your fucking headquarters base? That doesn't make any goddamn sense. When you want the highest tech to... Whatever. Fuck it. Who gives a shit? It's clear that the writers didn't put much thought into this either, so who fucking cares? It's Master Chief, guys! I swear, this show looks so fucking cheap. It's actually sad. This is something I didn't mention earlier, but if you look at the Spartan's armor, it looks like fucking rubber. It looks so fucking terrible. And of course the CGI, but we don't go over that again. But out of all the shitty Spartan looks, right, there's one time that the armor actually looks pretty cool. And that was when Master Chief on this shot, he's just sitting here checking a briefcase. If there was no talking in the scene, it was just him staring at a briefcase, I'd be like, that looks pretty good. Yeah, that looks nice. Good shot. Master Chief's armor, about 50% of the time, does look kind of nice. And the rest of the time, it looks like fucking dog ass. We cut to fucking... Oh, man, I'm having a brain fart. I said her name earlier, didn't I? Halsey, there you go. We cut to Halsey, and she's observing Master Chief's heart, and she's finding out that Master Chief's body did something when he touched the crystal, and she's like, oh my god, I think his memory's unlocked, but she's not going to tell anyone. I don't know. I really don't know. It's something about Master Chief knowing about how bad the UNSC is now because he touched a thingy-majig that gave him a flashback to his childhood. Okay, sure, whatever. Well, I'll go with it, I guess. Then we snap back to Commander Keyes, and I think he's carrying some rum and cokes with him. I think he's definitely carrying alcohol. And so he talks to his daughter. You remind me of your mother. Oh, I take offense to that. That's a good thing. We need to kill the human. And she's like, we can't kill the kid. And it's like, we got to. We need to protect humanity, which... What? Now, I've watched this episode maybe 3 times. One time to actually see it, the second time to record the footage you're watching now, and a third time to really gather my notes and understand what I want to talk about. And all 3 of those times, I'm not entirely sure why he wants to kill the child. If there's some secret line of dialogue why, besides of him saying, I want to protect humanity, and his own daughter deflecting that by saying, how are you protecting humanity by killing one? And his only response is, you need to kill some to make results? And it's, what? That doesn't make any fucking sense, dude. What are you talking about? The only reason why you're like this is because the fucking showrunners want to force the agenda that the UNSC is bad. Just like the Starfleet is bad in Picard. That's the only reason why that's here. It makes no fucking sense. We need to kill the child. Why? Because we need to protect humanity. What? Are you fucking stupid? And then we cut to a really bad CGI Pelican shot, if I'm honest. It's fucking dog shit. And it's Master Chief talking to girl, Asian bitch. And Asian bitch is like, yo, you know what? We've met before. And he's like, really? How do we meet? And she likes to be a fucking Debbie Downer because she's an Asian bitch. And she's like, you killed my mother. Oh, okay. Well, that came out of left field. Wait a minute. That just makes an entire big coincidence there. So let me get this straight. So it was just very likely for this to happen that Master Chief killed your mother, and then some years later you just happen to run into him again after being the only one alive over an invasion of your town. He just happened to take you in with him. These all just are very likely events that somehow happened? I don't believe that for a fucking second. That is way too many coincidences to lead up to the scene where you killed my mother, and it's just, what? What the fuck? Another example of this, I'm gonna connect it back to Community, because Community, if I'm honest with you, is actually a really good show. Especially the first 3 seasons are fucking solid. In Community, there's one episode where a character named Abed decides to connect everyone's lives together by finding out if they ever ran into each other before.
But Jeff, it's a graduation gift. You see, on the surface, we seem like just a group of people from diverse backgrounds who have become unlikely friends, but according to my research, our paths have crossed many times. We were destined to meet, like a team of superheroes. This is our origin story.
And you would think, oh, you know, even when the characters even mention this, like, those are way too many coincidences. There's no way we could just accidentally ran into each other.
I know it's disappointing to you, but we're not superheroes. This is the real world, not some comic book adventure.
But then he explains them, and it turns out there was a conflict with one of them where a character named Jeff...
My name is Jeff.
Actually helped a prostitute that was sleeping with the husband of one of the other characters. And they have a whole kerfuffle about that, and they try to resolve the issue. And that's an interesting character development there, because you learn both sides, and it's like, holy shit, we've really changed as people over these years. I'm not that guy anymore. That right there shows you good characters. When you have characters like this, that's like, you killed my mother. It's like, what? Okay. It doesn't even feel natural. There's no, what? This came out of left field. And the episode of Community, that was over 3 to 4 years of building up these people. This is just nothing. And then Master Chief gets something on his visor saying to kill the girl. And for some reason, he asks her for her name, even though he has a blatant picture of her. Not entirely sure why he did that. Just kind of weird, but hey, whatever. And so he's like, okay, you know what? I'll be right back. I'm going to disconnect our cameras through a very cheap monitor that we keep next to the door for some reason. And so the other people find out about this. They're like, yo, he cut out the signal. But the weird thing is, right, the Indian commander called in Halsey to like check this out, right? But if you look behind him, the cameras are also out, because I thought this was pre-recorded. But no, this is also live for them. But that doesn't make any sense. Then why did the Indian commander call her over to be like, yo, check this out, I got something to show you, if this is live feed? What? So, whatever. So, no signal pops up, and everyone's like, what the fuck? Your Spartan is going against my command. What the fuck? You're supposed to know what they do. And she's like, I don't know. He's learning to be a human, I guess. It's like, you better put your Spartan in control, bitch. And then we snap back to Master Chief and Asian bitch. They didn't even develop this at all, but they decided, hey, we're gonna drain your oxygen in your Pelican, which, why does the HQ have control over that? That is insanely stupid, but hey, whatever. So Asian bitch loses air and she falls over, and Master Chief is now losing air and is about to fall over, but that doesn't make a lot of fucking sense, okay? I'm gonna compare this to the games here, because certain things should still be connected to the games that make sense, that were already built, like Master Chief's armor. Even in Halo Infinite, they did this, that he was in space and he was just floating around, and that's probably because he had, like, oxygen fed to him. That's always what I assumed. There's even a scene in Halo 2 where you're jumping around in space and you are able to breathe. The suit gives him oxygen. So why is Master Chief losing oxygen in his helmet? That doesn't make any fucking sense. Can he not just activate to give himself oxygen? Or does the HQ have control over when he gets oxygen and when he doesn't get oxygen? That's just really stupid if that's the case. UNSC in this show is fucking idiots. They're not bad, even though the show's really trying to hammer home that these are really bad corporation government people, whatever. They're just more of being really stupid and making really shitty decisions. But anyway, it doesn't matter, because Master Chief just happened to be losing oxygen and fall over right next to the oxygen tank. What are the odds of that? Like, goddamn, good for him. And he was able to just flip a knob and he had oxygen again, and that was resolved. So that was one issue that came out of fucking left field and was resolved in a matter of seconds. You could have cut that entire part out and it would have not changed literally nothing of the entire fucking story. But hey, we gotta stretch this out somehow. Let's add a minute of conflict and then remove it. Like, okay, whatever. That works, I guess. So then they're like, okay, we need to get all the Marines together. Marines, get your weapons and shit. And, like, let's go fly our pelicans towards his pelican. And they're all armed up, getting the Spartans ready. And Halsey talks to the Spartans. Is like, yo, so listen. Master Chief is losing his mind. But I don't want you to kill him, okay? You got me? You dig? What I want you to do is just kill everyone that's trying to kill him for me. That'll work. What's your plan after that, lady? Okay, let's talk about for a moment. If I was there, if I was a Spartan, right, and she told me, okay, kill anyone that's trying to kill Master Chief, I guess I would be the one logical guy and just think, okay, wait a minute, I'm sorry. So, you want me to kill the people that are trying to kill Master Chief, which in this situation is an entire fucking army. But let's say we were able to do that, okay? What's the plan after, exactly? Like, do you want me to just walk into Master Chief's fucking pelican with a plate of cookies and ask him, yo, would you mind coming with me? I want to take you to Dr. Halsey so she could brainwash you again. You okay with that? Cool, man. Like, what's your plan after that, right? And then on top of that, even if you killed those people that are in front of the pelican, you still got an entire army behind you, and fucking warthogs and pelicans, and a Mac cannon, which apparently doesn't do jack shit in this fucking show. So why is everyone so fucking stupid? Think about this for a moment. Even the Spartans or Halsey, just think about your plan for a moment. You're asking them to just go kill anyone that tries to kill Master Chief, which is an entire army, and it's just... It's so stupid. Why would you do that? You're just gonna kill more Spartans by doing this. But whatever. It doesn't matter. Anyway, so Master Chief and Asian Bitch are in the bad CGI'd pelican flying towards Earth, I presume. No way, it's Reach, isn't it? Okay, they're flying towards Reach, and Asian Bitch is like, yo, I'm gonna fucking shoot you for some reason. Because she thinks that Master Chief was the one that disabled the oxygen, which doesn't make a lot of fucking sense why he would disable the oxygen to his own pelican. But hey, whatever. And then magically turn it back on and left you on the ground. If you okay, if he was gonna take out the oxygen, bitch, right? When he just, like, put you somewhere to captivate you so you wouldn't try running away or try shooting him or something? Your plan makes no fucking sense. You think that the guy that saved you in the first place is trying to kill you and also cut off oxygen to his own ship that passed him out, too. And then you wake up on the ground and presume that he's going to try killing you, and so you pull out a gun trying to kill him first. What? Why would you do that? You crazy bitch. So Master Chief's tries to explain this. It's like, yeah, it was the UNSC, it wasn't even me. And he's like, yo, this is pretty tough armor. You're not going to be able to kill me here. So let me just take off my fucking helmet so you can shoot me. And at this moment in the show, I noticed two major things, right? One, they got some guy to play Master Chief, most likely because he sounded like the Mandalorian, which is not a memory I want to remember. Let's be honest, Mandalorian is a pretty dogshit show. And also, this is the reason why they couldn't get Steve Downes, I assume. Because if Master Chief is going to take off his helmet, and you have Steve Downes doing the voice, they would have to do lip sync, and that never goes well. And so it's just, you created yourself a problem that shouldn't have been a problem in the first place. If you just made it where Master Chief kept his helmet on the whole fucking time, you couldn't use Steve Downes' voice, because you're already using Cortana's voice as one of the characters. Like, you're using Jen Taylor's voice, so why not use fucking Steve Downes? And this is the reason why, because they want to take off his fucking helmet. And that is the laziest and dumbest reason to ever change a voice actor, because you want the character to take off their helmet. You gotta be fucking stupid. Whoever wrote this show is filled with morons and have no idea what the fuck they're doing. Which makes sense because apparently they never played the Halo games for a Halo TV show. Why would you make a Halo TV show if you never played Halo? When you want to know what the fuck you're, I don't know, making before making it? It's fucking stupid. This show is fucking terrible. So then you got some guy, because another thing, right? As much as I don't like Mandalorian, it's a dog shit show, at least they somewhat had the restraint to not show his face until the end of season 1, and they didn't blow their whole load in the first episode of the first season. That's one thing I could give credit for, because this show they just blew everything out in the first episode, and it was all bad. Everything in this show was a terrible decision. The only thing I could say were good decisions in this show was maybe Master Chief's armor in certain cases, and the high charity from the outside looked cool. I think those are the only two good things I can say about the show so far. It is actually fucking pathetic how bad the show is. So anyways, they turn out we're gonna work together, I guess. So they're like, okay, we need to somehow be able to stop the ship from parking. So he's like, yo, pull out those wires above that thingy over there. And so she tugs on them for a while. And the whole time I was thinking, why not to shoot it? Which, funny enough, she does do after 20 seconds of plot conveniences. And so now they're able to control the Pelican. And they're like, okay, so we're going to fly the Pelican away. But then they shoot a MAC cannon at him. And maybe they put the MAC cannon on EMP mode, which I don't even know that's ever been a fucking thing. But if I remember correctly, a MAC cannon destroyed an entire Corvette in one shot. So what the fuck is this? It just disables the ship and it crash lands and somehow they're alive from that, which, okay, whatever. And so the whole army just decides to gather around them with the Spartans in front of everyone. And of course, like, if I was a Spartan, I'd be trying to figure out, okay, so we have an entire army behind us and we have to kill them if they try killing Master Chief. How well is that going to go? But they don't think that at all. They just walk in front of the door and aim their guns at the Marines in front of the door, which just made me think that's a dumb move. When you not want to do that, you're drawing yourself attention in front of the Marines that are behind you. When they be looking at that and like you'll have 400 guns pointing directly at you guys. Now don't get me wrong, Spartans are strong, but they're not super strong where they can take over 400 guns shooting at them and survive. That's just not gonna fucking happen. But anyways, Master Chief touches the thingy-majig that he touched earlier, and he sees more of his past, and the past made an EMP go out in the entire headquarters, and it turned the Pelican back on? What? Was that his plan? Was that fucking planned? Did Master Chief know that if he touched this thingy-majig, it would just do that? If not, then what are the odds of that just working perfectly for them? Just, wow, good for you, I guess. And then they fly away, and that's the end. That's the end of the episode. Holy fuck. What an absolute fucking dumpster fire of a TV show. It is actually really fucking bad. Hopefully I'll be able to get this episode, or this video out before episode 2 comes out, but I'm not entirely sure. But like I said, I'm not doing the rest of the season. I just wanted to do this one episode because it was enough for me to notice how dog shit this show is really going to be. There is absolutely no fucking way this show is going to be better as it goes along. It's only going to get worse. There might be one episode that's like, oh, okay, yeah, that was fine. But I am putting all of my goober dollars in the bin right now. This whole season is going to be absolute fucking dog shit. And I already made a few predictions already. The UNSC are bad people, and the main villain is somehow connected to UNSC by being trained by them, or one of them being fucking related or some shit. And that's why she's working with the Covenant, which is still fucking stupid. This show is an absolute dumpster fire, and I would recommend no one to watch it, unless if you want to watch something that's actually really bad, that comes pretty funny at points. The second half of the episode's pretty meandering, but the first half, goddamn, that is some funny shit. But, wow, I think I'm done. That was just awful. Now, get the fuck out.